Alright, so it's been a while since I posted an update on Minmay, but I'm finally at a point to where I can call her done. Though there is still a few more things I want to do, and that is actually build these out of cloth, which I actually got. Which I actually have the cloth right here in this little drawer for safekeeping. The reason why I haven't done it yet is because the cloth I'm using is different than the stuff that I normally use. This is the see-through cloth, which if I can properly get my finger into one. Well, basically, this is the exact same cloth that Minmay used in the movie, basically. So, yeah. I'm gonna hopefully try and find someone local that can teach me or help me out get this cloth to look the way I need it to look. But with that said, I think for now I'm gonna call Minmay done. Well, technically I should call her technically done. The reason why technically is because, again, I want to make this and this out of cloth, like I showed. But for right now, I'm just going to use standard paper as is, just to have the look and basically have Minmay done, so I can actually put this build video or whatever it is to a close. So with that said, Minmay is again life size. I actually went and added in a little mic here, well, because it kind of fit and kind of looks good. I added a little LED right here, which you can see is going on, which you can see is actually glowing right now. Her hair was a massive pain in the butt to put together. It's still a massive pain in the butt to plop onto her head and whatnot, but relatively speaking, it's actually a lot more simpler now since I've kind of wore in the actual little post and whatnot that her hair slides onto and whatnot. Let's see. Like I said, let's see. One of her things is her hands were a massive pain in the butt, mostly her fingers, especially the fingers for this hand here, since they're curled up in such a way like this. It took at least an hour to do each individual finger. So just all 5 fingers, 5 hours of work. And of course, more or less the same for this hand here, so 10 hours of work on each individual finger. I know it may seem to be crazy, but all the cutting, all the folding takes time and whatnot, and I learned to pace myself. But yeah, she is, like I said, completely done. And of course, as you can tell, I have a little speaker system in here. Basically, it's a Bluetooth. So if I just luckily, I can actually play something from Macross without having to worry about getting copyright striked. Because I know with the main menu for using Macross, I'll get away with it. So let's see. Heck, I need to talk about the feet for a second. As you may note, I have wooden supports right here. That is because of the way this model is designed. There is so much structural load being put right here, and since Minmay is so off kilter when it comes to actually standing up, normally these builds have their feet directly planted each foot on the ground, so the weight is evenly distributed. With Minmay, it's not distributed by any stretch. So I had to add in supports here and here, and I had to add in support there to help distribute the load and keep her more or less properly standing. I mean, she's still somewhat precarious to stand up, and I also had to build this base here so she can actually stand that way, so she can actually stand upright on my carpet. She actually stands on like linoleum and something that's actual flat and hard without this base. But for the sake of just taking her to conventions and just having her in my room, I just basically hot glued her directly to this base. right now this speaker is just not held on by anything. I'm gonna put 2 rare earth magnets on this thing, one here and one here. Basically what happens, rare earth magnet will just keep this thing basically on there, and I can easily pop it off. Also, the battery for the little amp is dead, so I'm currently charging it for the sake of this video. Here I have a little secondary plug here that actually goes all the way back here, and actually ties into the mic wire, which actually isn't connected to anything. So I just duct taped the wire to the actual main speaker lead, or LED lead that goes to the LED right here in her earring. Let's see. I think the next thing I need to do is show how she pops apart. Well, actually, first let me show you the LED actually working. So let me turn off the light. I think you more or less get the idea for the lights. So let me go set up my tripod so I can actually show you more or less how she's put together. Alright, so let's start off with her hair. So like I said in the build videos, there's an actual pole right around here so that I actually slide her hair on, and there's a rare earth magnet right around here so inside her face. And there's a small little paper clip on this little section here that basically, when I slide her hair onto her head, the paper clip will just grab like so and actually get the hair to form the way I want. And the pop offset hair is relatively simple. And like so. And of course, if I go here, you can actually see what I'm talking about. Here's the superstructure that holds the hair on. You can actually, well, you can see the top of the good grief, paper clip that's in here. This section right here was a massive pain in the butt to put together, and of course that's also excluding this whole intersection right here. This whole section right here was a massive pain to put together and then actually hot glue in there. I have simple reinforcements in here because it really only needs reinforcements there. I would normally go for full reinforcements on this section of her hair too, but considering she's very top heavy, if I add more weight to her hair, I decided not to. So let's see if I can pop my camera off the tripod. So if I actually go behind here, you can actually get a general idea of how the supporting structure for her hair is done, how her face is more or less supported together, and how I wired up the LEDs. So here's the LED. Here's the LED wire. Here's the main wire for the LED, and then that actually connects directly physically to this wire here, and of course here's that secondary wire that just goes directly to the mic, and I just duct taped it. I hot glued this little wire here so it can just more or less stay out of the way and, well, not be seen. And the only wires you only will be seeing is just this right here. Let's see. Of course, there's an internal wooden structure throughout, which you really can't see. So, yeah. Alright, so here's one of the other things I've done. This bow isn't actually physically connected to her body. It's just held in by 2 rare earth magnets. That way, so if I'm like at a local convention or whatever, and someone knocks into her and somehow knocks this bow off, the bow will just literally just fall off without any damage. And of course, right here is actually a breakaway section. I have this as a breakaway section so I can easily put her in my car and take her to convention, whatever. So let me go and unplug the LED wire from the speaker base and just do this. And boom, like so, I popped Minmay in half. And hopefully, maybe you can see the superstructure to an extent inside her. The reason why this isn't actually fully cut out is because there's a rare earth magnet here and a rare earth magnet here. Those two rare earth magnets correspond with two rare earth magnets placed right around in here somewhere that actually allows me to which basically allows me to properly align the top section of Minmay with the bottom section. And of course, if I flip it over, here you can actually see said two rare earth magnets, a simple wooden support structure. This section here isn't actually hot glued in, it's just free fitted, so when I actually do finally get around to building this little piece out of actual cloth, I can just easily remove it and be done with that. So let's see, I can actually really show you the internal superstructure for her legs. And generally speaking, this is her internal superstructure for her legs. This simple little, basically, I don't know what you'll call this, but basically this just slides into that little pole there and just basically keeps her on. I have a little arrow right here because basically with the way the way this is fitted, it basically just keys with the skirt right there. So I can just literally just slap the skirt on here, key it, and then that's good. And then I can just use the two rare earth magnets to properly align the top portion of Minmay together. And that's pretty much it for the superstructure, really. And of course, like I said, this has to be, I have to do a few modifications to this thing, but generally speaking, this is pretty much good to go. So I might as well show you the, more or less the put together process of Minmay and then just put this video to an end because there's really nothing else for me to show. Well, there is actually one more thing for me to show, but that'll be at the very end. Alright, that's keyed. Take Minmay's torso, or hips, or whatever you call them. Alright, that's keyed. There we go. Okay, maybe I need to figure out a better rekeying system for the top section here. So let me go find that bow, which I can't really get to because everything's in the way. You can tell how unprofessional I am. Like I keep saying in all my videos, I'm a one-man camera crew. And since my videos are so niche, as of right now, I really don't expect my videos to really get any better for a long time. Not unless somehow my channel somehow explodes, but I don't see that happening because again, the stuff I build is incredibly niche, and it's also more or less just for me. I mean, I built Minmay because I've been wanting a life-size Minmay for at least forever since I found Macross. Let's see, can I end this on a size comparison video of how, not size comparison, but how tall she is or short she is to me? God, I have no idea how to do this. But size comparison for Minmay. She is, like I said, supposed to be life size. She's actually Minmay is around 5'2" if my memory serves. And of course okay, let's do this. I'll exclude the base. She's about 5'2.5" actually. And remember to exclude the base, of course. But she is, like I said, life size. But I think that's pretty much it for this video. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I actually forgot to mention. Most likely my next build will be Mikamo. The Mikamo variant I'll probably be building will be this one right here. So give me a second. There we go. This will be the Mikamo variant I'm most likely going to build. So I'm going to get in talks with the guy that did the posing for my Minmay and see if he's willing to pose Mikamo for me too. I'm also going to be doing a lot of life improvements and also asking him to do a few things differently from what I've learned with Minmay to help make building Mikamo here a lot more simpler. The one thing's for sure though, but with how long Mikamo's hair is, she is going to be incredibly tail heavy. So I can easily see a lot of the superstructure stresses easily going backwards. So I have to somehow make sure that I somehow reinforce her legs so the superstructure inside her legs can actually withstand the backwards force of her hair pulling her backwards. And of course I'm not going to get into a whole spat about that in this video because this video is already long enough. I'll get into something about that, about the superstructure and whatnot, hopefully when I actually start building Mikamo, because I really do have to explain how I see these superstructures out in my head, because I don't think I really ever done that, even though these videos I'm going to get like 32 views or something. Either way, it's still fun for me to build these things, even if I only get 32 views.